Spiritual Principles, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The first spiritual principle. There is no light without Kli. Creation of Kli also requires light. Please refer to the written material for the text in Hebrew. The first principle. There is no light without Kli. This indicates the need for sensation and presiding in what is called darkness. This is constructive darkness. For there is no light without the Kli. Therefore, if we know this principle, then we happily realize this, and we want to be in a state of darkness, because at this moment I have the work to build the kilim. But we must bear in mind what kind of darkness it is. It is not the I went to a disco at night, drank, and did something else, and therefore I have darkness. Darkness, but creative darkness in spiritual work on myself. Our task is not to resist the laws of the universe, and only that is the true expression of our free will. After all, when we put ourselves in the position of Don Quixote and the mill, nothing will help. There is no light without the Kli. This means that it is necessary to work and to treat the light and the darkness in the same way. Darkness means that my Kli is being built. And the second aspect is that we also need light to build Kli, which is called the day. How so? On one hand, when there is darkness, then, of course, the Kelim are gaining strength in darkness, because at that moment you must be persistent and have the courage to withstand the state in which you have the Kli. Since the light has left you, so you must at this moment show perseverance and courage. If you feel suffering at that moment, then you need to know that this is a temporary state, and the light will follow after this. On the other hand, when there is light, when it fills our kilim, it seems to us that it does nothing, but we simply do not feel it. As we know, the restriction was not in the light, but the creation made a restriction in itself on the reception of light. Therefore, as soon as you allowed the light inside of yourself, you felt it, and it is certainly stronger than the limitations which you made within yourself. And now, when you already feel the light in yourself rise, etc., then at this moment it is working to penetrate you deeper. It wants to penetrate you completely, because the purpose of creation is to give pleasure to the creation. At that moment, it is still inexorably penetrates your kilim. It still penetrates your kilim each time, a little more and more. Thus, when the light is in you, it makes the kilim without your perception of it. And when it exits, it leaves behind notches. And earlier, when there was light prior to its departure, you were filled. You did not feel that something new was added, some kind of depth. And the depth, this is the height into which the light can penetrate. And now, when the light comes out, these new grooves, notches, that the light has made in you remain. And it is in then that you feel suffering. for you still cannot bear this increase of depth in yourself, the increase of measure within you. So, it is necessary to know at this moment that this is all structurally necessary